This is for Venus in Gemini, Venus Gemini people. So not necessarily just Geminis, your Venus in Gemini. And this is basically Gemini as a lover. I noticed I'm talking really fast because I'm going to start channeling this energy. The first thing that I want to say when I started this video, also, everything you need to know is in the link. If you want to contact me for anything, my website, blah, blah, blah. But Venus in Gemini. So I've dated people, I've been in relationships, I've liked people and stuff. But I talked to one Venus Gemini before, and they were the one that I just liked them so much. I liked them so much. And I remember that me and that person talked all day about everything, and I loved it. I felt so mentally connected and stimulated, and Venus in Gemini is so interesting. They really keep it stimulated. I remember that when me and that person stopped talking, I felt so like, oh, to lose their conversation and to lose talking. To me, Venus and Gemini, these are people who people may tell you sometimes to shut up. And I feel like what your beauty is that you should keep talking. Talk and talk and talk and talk. Because the people who are right for you are going to want to love to listen. And they're going to want to love to hear you talk. Venus and Gemini, it's an air sign, right? And it's mutable. So Venus and Gemini can have a lot of friends, or they can have a lot of people that they talk with. They have communication. When they interact, these are people who can spend a lot of time watching videos or talking, texting, doing creative crafting things with their hands and creating. They are very, very, very creative people, and they have interesting ideas and they ask interesting questions. And the thing is that love to them is that friendship, and it is that ability to change your mind. Venus and Gemini, what they don't want is someone that's going to come and try to make them think a certain way, or that's going to come and try to slow down their mind or speak differently. Venus and Gemini, you want someone that they can be free with. They can break out of the matrix with. They want someone that they can find the codes with, and y'all just go on a mission. It's very adventurous, and it has a very youthful quality to that. These are people who will keep you young, and when you love them, and you guys are in love and stuff, you'll feel young because their spirits are very regenerative. They find the things to say, and they're just so captivating. And their minds and the way that they love is so that you learn so much from these people. You will learn a lot from these people. I think that Venus in Gemini is kind of like Venus Aquarius in that it could be scary to think that you're going to stay with someone physically, because the way Venus Gemini loves is through the mental connection. So when they really like you, they want to talk to you and understand your mind. And it's very much so. What is it? Is it safety of sexual? I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but when people really like your mind. Venus Aquarius and Venus Gemini share that quality because it is a mental connection. Now here's the thing though. Venus and Gemini can be rural in the conversation and very, very in it. They think you're interesting and they're not bored. But when they start to get bored, or they start to feel like there's someone else to talk to, there's something else to do, there's something else to keep them distracted and to keep them entertained, then they may ghost you. A Venus in Gemini will ghost you. They will ghost you. And don't even take it personal. Don't even take it personal. Because they may not even be thinking of it like that. They may not even be there with Cancer. With Venus and Gemini, they may be having more feelings about what they do and stuff. But let's say they are Gemini or Venus in Gemini. They may not even be thinking about it that deeply. It just is habit. The third house has a lot to do with habit. It has a lot to do with things that you're used to. You learn, it's always around you. So it's like a product of environment. Venus in Gemini, they want things to stay interesting. They definitely don't want someone that they feel they've got all figured out. They definitely don't want someone who's boring, who just thinks what society thinks. They want someone who has things to say and has ideas and is creative. Because a lot of the times Venus in Gemini feels like if they're going to be with someone, that person has to creatively stimulate them. They can create things together. They want that connection. They want it to be like a stream of consciousness. They are lovers as a stream of consciousness. You can't put too much weight on it. You can't put a lot of weight on a Venus in Gemini. But if you're someone coming like, listen, are we dating or not? And if you come at them with some real heavy energy, they're going to ghost you so fast. If you come at them with some real heavy energy, it's mutable air. It's no hard feelings. It's no feelings at all, actually. So they're going to feel like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with you. And they're just going to zoom and go into a different mental portal and a different mental realm. And you can't even blame them for that. Why did you try to corner them into a mental box? Why did you try to imprison them? That's how they're going to see it. They're going to see it as they're here to be constantly evolving, and they're here to be constantly learning. These people have a deep, deep love for knowledge. They want to learn. This is third house energy. There's a desire to understand, to pick up something, and if you don't know how to do it, you're going to be like, well, I want to learn how to do it. I don't want to not know how to do things. So also, sometimes Venus and Gemini in love can feel like that. They can feel like they don't know what to do with love. What do you do with this? Is this a toy? What is this? And they have to learn to develop. But the thing is, they need partners who are free. They need partners who are open and who are constantly evolving and who are also creative and who are also thinking in the future and are interesting and have real interests. Basically, a Venus in Gemini wants someone that you could be on the other side of the house. They could be on the other side of the house and y'all both are entertaining yourselves and doing things. And you may even text them and be like, I'm done with my reading, chapter 5. They need the type of freedom that has to be natural in a way. And the thing is, they can get very stuck in their heads. These are people who can get so stuck in their head. Gemini can be low air. It can be like that. But Gemini is like when they start to think and think a lot, it can really start to stress them out. And they feel that they need to just change the subject. Sometimes these are people who don't want to talk about the real things. They could really like you and stuff, but when you try to bring up commitment or you try to bring up something serious, they may talk to you like just a friend and be like, oh well. Or they may switch the subject. How you'll know this person is really with you? They're just going to keep being with you. They're going to keep liking you. Y'all are going to keep talking. A lot of people say Venus in Gemini is a cheater. And the thing is, a lot of times people take cheating, and y'all weren't even together. A lot of times people who are saying that, when it really comes down to the circumstances and the situations, the Venus in Gemini will usually feel like we were never really together. Sometimes people perceive Venus in Gemini as cheaters, even though they were never committed, because they can sense their energy is just into whatever is interesting. And it's like, damn, you already wrote them off before you even got to know them. Venus in Gemini realize stuff like that, picks up on stuff like that. And it's like, you know this person just needs something or is already writing me off. They don't even know me yet. They don't know me yet. And that's the thing. Venus in Gemini wants to know all about your mind and wants to know a lot. And once they experience stuff with you, they want to go places with you and experience things with you and get to know you and chop it up. These are people who are amazing to talk to. But the thing is, people will fall in love with you, Venus and Gemini, because you're so fucking exciting. And you're so not as bizarre, and you're not as air magnetic like Venus Libra or Venus Aquarius. But you have that type of timelessness. Y'all have a timelessness. That means even if it was just us friends, I would fucking die to text them and talk and just talk about anything. Anything. To know you guys' minds and be able to communicate with you. To me, my eyes, it's a privilege. It's a privilege of your love. Because you are like that best friend that you can just talk to. And this is a person that's going to understand where you're coming from. They're very understanding. These are very, very kind people. They can be childish. They could be childish and they could think that shit is funny, and it's not funny. If you're around someone real earth dominant, they may be like, you're not fucking funny. But the thing is, y'all feel like it's no hard feelings. You didn't mean to hurt anybody. Venus and Gemini is like, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. And the thing is, they didn't mean to hurt you. They really, truly, rarely have bad intentions. Now, they do have the other Gemini twin, but that's the one that will ghost and just to get out of that mental realm and go on the other mental round. And they feel like they never want to settle. They feel like love is timeless. And they feel like they want to study love and understand love. And it's like this creative event. It's this thing they're creating. They're very much so creators. So they don't want to just settle down and get all serious, because they don't want to be slowed down. Venus and Gemini are on speed. They peep game. They peep game. And the thing is, they know if they like somebody, as soon as y'all start talking, they'll know that they'll like you or not. They're very quick. They're very, very quick. These are people who you might just hook up with them, and you may just be like, oh, that was a really cool person, and it may not be anything more than that. Once a Venus Gemini told me it's not that deep. And to them, it's not that deep. So if you're watching this because you like a Venus and Gemini, and you're someone who wants to move fast and be in a relationship, you need to realize that this person, that's not really going to be going on with them. You need to at least maybe be their friend first, or y'all need to date and see how it goes. You can't hold them in a cage, that's the thing. They don't want to feel wild. These are the people who want to run wild with someone. It's very much so like, let's go do stuff together. Let's go learn stuff together. Let's experience life together and learn together. And the thing is, it's going to depend on people's personal chart, but these may be people who it takes them a very, very long time in life before they commit and find their right partner. And these are people who may give up on it. They may just feel like life is too interesting and there's too much to experience and learn than to focus on love and to give your mental energy to a person and a commitment. Because the thing is, you guys have a lot of dreams. You have a lot of ideas. You have a lot going on in your head. And when you like someone, it's like, oh my God, let's text, let's meet up. There's an interest. Sometimes you guys feel like in love, Venus and Gemini will be like, what do I do? What do I say? And it's like, you guys have to find that person that just gets you and has wit and is on your speed. My mom is a Virgo and she's a third house stellium, but she has Venus in the third house, so she has a Gemini vibe to her. And she's my whole life has said things to me like, people need to be on my speed. People need to be on speed. So then you guys kind of have that. You understand that if things are not on the speed, then it stagnates and you're just going to keep going. You don't want to stop for anybody. You feel like your brain needs to keep moving forward. You need to keep your creative palette always refreshed. You want to learn new things to be inspired. You're the type of people that want to hang out with someone and see how they are. You guys love parties. You guys love to have a good time. Now, of course, it's going to be different in people's charts, but for the most part, Venus in Gemini likes to have a good time and interact and have the mic. If you love a Venus in Gemini, let them have the mic. Let them just talk off their head. And the thing is, if you really know them that tight, they'll say something, and then you may know that they don't know what the fuck they just said. They don't know what the fuck they just said. But they were in it, and they were alive, and they were young, and their spirit was electric, and it was moving. And they want love that's alive. It's alive, and it keeps going places. They play this portal game. They play this game in a way, but it's not to hurt anybody. It's never to hurt anybody. They want to see who can keep up, and they want to see who has the way, and they want to see who's down for this adventure, because they share with Sagittarius that life is an adventure, and love is an adventure for Venus in Gemini. Venus in Gemini is one of my favorite Venus placements, because these are the type of people that you'll never get bored of them. And what they are so afraid of is boredom. And they are easily bored. These are people who are easily bored, easily not entertained. Their mind just drifts somewhere else. These are people who you will never be able to control their mind, because their mind is also uncontrollable to them. Their sensations, their ideas come to them. They're natural channelers. They just channel information and stuff. So their life moves like a forest fire, but it's air instead of fire. But what would be a forest fire like Sagittarius mutable fire, their opposite? So it's that same effect. It's like, catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. And that's Venus in Gemini. And some people enjoy that, and some people will catch you, and you will fall, and you will want to text them all the time, and you will want to keep learning about this person, and you will have visions and ideas, and you will start to get inspired. Venus in Gemini definitely is more creative when they like someone, when they're allowing their sexual energy, because their sexual energy is connective and communicative, listening to people and talking. That stimulates you. That gives you your sexual energy and your sexual power to connect. So you guys definitely don't want to just be all isolated. You want to be able to always feel that you're in a place where you can express yourself. So you need partners that give you the freedom to express yourself, no matter what that is, and take you for what you really are, and who you're becoming, and who you'll be too. So yeah, Venus and Gemini, it's like forever young. Every time. What does that Jay-Z line reuse? Life is for living, I live it uptight. That's the kind of Venus Gemini. They don't want an uptight type of love. They want it to be crazy. They want it to be crazy, and they want it to be like, y'all have that connection, and you get it. It's wet, and it's understandable, and it's quick. And it's like, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Also with Venus and Gemini, they know what it is. It's very telepathic a lot of times. These people are very telepathic lovers, and they know that they're very connected with someone when they telepathically are connecting with them. They're thinking about them. They know what they're going to say. Mentally, they're like, they start to get into a union. So your soulmate, or whatever you want to call it, will be someone that really understands your mind almost telepathically, or telepathically. So it has to be on that level, because for Venus and Gemini, it could just be an experience, and it could just be quick, and it could just be something they look back on as, oh, that was cool. What did I learn from that? You guys are always wanting to learn things. So you attract relationships where you will learn things. Because you have a thirst for knowledge. You have a thirst for learning. and you feel like you can learn a lot in love. There's a lot to learn there. So you guys will try, though. I'll give you that. If you really like someone, you'll try it. You want to try things. You're curious. Curiosity kills the cat, that's what they say at least. But you're very curious. So you need people who encourage your curiosity. And there's a need for trust. Venus in Gemini also really needs to feel like they're trusted and they trust you. So then y'all can be free. Because without the trust, there's no freedom, and then there's nothing.